All right, welcome to the Level Up Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, John Knott. We have CJ right here to my left. We also have James on the other end. And we're going to start the show off with a few questions. Some of the questions will be from NBA. Some of them will take place in the NFL. And just from what we see going on in the summer and currently. So question number one. And James, this will be directed to you. How do you think this big three between KD or Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal compared to others of the past? And do you think they can win it this year?
Hey, so kind of looking at the big three, think about KD, Booker, and Beal. Now, they're very different from, any other trios if you really think about, because most of those trios, or if you even consider duos, had, a big guy, a big body figure, except Jordan and Pippen. When they won, they ain't really have no big power forward. What's his name? Rodman came in along in the next championships, but they were the only one to kind of do with two small guys not considered big. And here you got three guys, mid build. KD, we know he's tall but skinny. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of weight on him, but still, we know that guy's deadly. I'm not saying that by any means like a bad thing, but typically when you have that heavy body, that big body, whether it was LeBron and Bosh, or whether when LeBron went, and Kevin Love was there, still a big body power forward. Having Draymond Green there in Golden State doing the dirty work. So having that, but here they still can win. Even with those three skill guys, the offense is great. The Phoenix Suns last year was 6 in defense, 6 in points allowed, 6 in field goal percentage, roughly about 46. So with that being said, the defense is still intact because they still got the same players. They just added offensive player. Offense-wise, they were in the middle of the pack, but having Bill there now, and then KD was mid-season, he'll be there all season. I expect that offense is gonna go up, which means you still got the defense. Your shooting's gonna be high percentage, and your three-point shooting is gonna be about close to that 40% range, which is all recipe to win a championship. You know what I'm saying? When you kind of look at the previous teams that really won it. So I definitely say they got a chance to win it because the defense is still there. But if they fail, they still got some chemistry and some building they still need to do. But they still got Aiden. He's a big guy, but at heart, I think he needs to like mentally prepare, and be bigger of a player mentally. He got to be mentally tough, and I think that's what's gonna get them over the hump if he can be mentally tough down
there. Okay, CJ, we're gonna go to you.
Yeah, for me, man, this is man, these big threes has been, it's always been a combination of either two shooters, and like you said, James was like a big man, and the only time that changed the norm was when it was Steph, Clay, and KD in Golden State. Did that work for them? Yes, but that worked for them because of the system that they had in place, and too that they could go into the luxury. Steph wasn't asking for the max. Steph was taking a pay cut to allow for that super team to thrive. Now that this new CBA then came out, I mean, based off of this, like the Suns are basically they're paying them three players and Aiden, and then now you're gonna have a bench of anybody's, you know what I'm saying? So is it a good big three? I'm gonna say yeah. I agree with you, James. This is gonna be a pretty good big three. They all average above 20. This is even better than the LeBron, Wade, and Bosh by the numbers. With Devin Booker, KD, and then Beal, by numbers, they look as offensively, they shouldn't have no issue. The problem is gonna come on defense. Who you gonna supplement up in there with the little room that you have left with the you know what I'm saying on the roster. So do I see them winning it? No, I don't see them winning it because it seems like every first year team that gets together, they need a maturation or marination process. You know what I'm saying? So I say for the sake of argument that hey, they got a good team, they got a good core with those three. What they're gonna do with it from there, man? Can I see them getting to the Western Finals? Probably so. Probably. Or if they get stuff ironed out. If not, I can see them getting knocked out in the first round. And people like, you maybe, but that goes with how their defense is going to play and the team and the players that they're going to bring. Because you lost your point guard. I don't know who, you know what I'm saying? The offense was constructed and ran by Chris Paul. So you lost Chris Paul. Who you got now as your point to control the offense or the flow of the offense? So it's going to be unique, but I don't see him winning it though. Not this year. Maybe next year, but not this year.
All right. So we got a yes and we got a no. So I guess I'll be the tiebreaker. And I'm just gonna throw out there, comparing it. The first part of the question was comparing it to others of the past. So when you think of the past, you're thinking of Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, James, D. Wade, and Bosh. So when you think of those players, the names, and then you can even go even further. Okay, you had KD, Curry, and Thompson at one point in time. That worked well. They got 2 rings back to back and went to a third finals, but they ended up losing, barring the injuries that they had. So me personally, I think that they can win this year, but I believe they can win if they can crack the code of what style of play fits their team. What I mean by that is, okay, we're in the game. Who's shooting the last shot? KD, are you going to take it?
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, are you going to take it? Yeah. Book, are you taking it? Who do you get a ball to at the end of the game? That's something that they're going to have to figure out in the end, because not all of them can have the ball at the same time. Only one person can take that one shot. And who's going to be that Batman? Who's going to be the Robin? Who's going to be this player? Knowing what their role is and knowing how to attack different teams with that same style of play. But I do think that they can do it. You have 3 of the best scorers, and then KD will play both ways. Booker, he's competitive. That competitive spirit that he has, he's going to give it his all. Bradley Beal, I've yet to see. I know what type of play he brings with it as far as his scoring, but I don't know what is he going to be that person that, hey, on a night, hey, we need you to guard that guy. Will you go do it? That's what I'm questioning, and that's what we got to see. But I do believe they can be the team to win it all this year. All right, we're going to question number 2. So we got college football coming up in just a matter of weeks. I think we have actually about 6 weeks out. And the question is, who is the best college football team of all time? So just to give you some examples, we got the 2005 Texas Longhorns with Vince Young. We got 2019 LSU Tigers with Joe Burrow. 2004 USC Trojans. We had Reggie Bush on that squad, Matt Leinart. 1995, we had Nebraska Cornhuskers. Tommy Frazier was quarterback, Ahman Green. And 2001 Miami Hurricanes, and they had a slew of people on that team. So we're going to start this one off with CJ. And if you had to pick one, what was the best one, man?
Man, hey, this has always been one of those debates people be having. But I told them, hands down, it's always been Miami Hurricanes for me. That 2001 team was just like, you couldn't have constructed a better team put together. You know what I'm saying? And it just to give you a short, just quick preview of how can I count the ways. They had about 17 players from that 2001 team, from 2002 to 2006. That's when the players left the school and went into the draft. You had about 17 of them go in the first round. 17. Just Andre Johnson. Hey, Sean Alexander, Winslow, Montrell Rowe, Jonathan Vilma, Jeremy Shockey. This is just Vince Wilfork, Ed Reed, and that's just those guys right there. And then you had Oh, in the later rounds, you had Clinton Portis and Frank Gore. Man, it's like you got the all-star super team put together down there. And they said they said they had an unbelievable stat that if you don't count the offense that they scored, the points that the offense scored, and just went off what the defense scored, they would have still finished the season 8-4, beating the teams that they played. They would have finished the season 8-4 just off the defense and special team scoring. So that lets you know how great that team was. Is just dominant. So I mean, it's hard. I mean, the other teams was great, but man, that 2001 team was a monster.
James, what you got?
Look, see, with this question, the good thing is so many different teams, and we all gonna see something different with these teams. And I'm looking at this list. I'm like, well, the 2019 LSU Tigers. I mean, because you got to look who they defeated. They defeated seven top 10 teams. You know what I'm saying? That was ranked in the top 10. So all the teams that was ranked in the top 10, they beat seven top teams. And that, you know what I'm saying? For you to be considered of who's, best team, you got to be able to defeat, those top teams. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a terrible schedule and get lucky to go undefeated or have a great season because you played nobody. You know what I'm saying? But one thing y'all don't have this team on here. I'm thinking about if you're looking back to on the Sooners in 1956, Oklahoma Sooners, y'all ain't got that team on the list. But if we go back that far, thinking about that team, who they balled out that season. They only allowed 51 points that season, that Oklahoma Sooner team, which was second least in the league. And then to say second least in the league, that's crazy. But then they was the best offense in the league, averaging like 46 points a game, which was 16 points more than the next best offense. And then they had that for 3 years in a row. They went undefeated from that process. You know what I'm saying? Winning 47 consecutive games. So I go back to a team like that who had such great defense and offensively they were so powerful, and they continued that reign for 3 years. 1956 Oklahoma Sooners. But if you're not gonna add them to that list because I don't see them on there, I'll just say
No. He said those were just examples.
Those were just examples.
Those were just examples. So you want to throw them on there? 1956 Oklahoma Sooners. Hey, man, 46 straight games, dominance.
Okay, yeah, that's dominant.
Yeah.
That's dominant. It's kind of funny that we did have at least one that we were went different about, and even me being a Florida State fan, it's kind of sucky to even mention this in there, but I did pick the Miami Hurricanes as well. I mean the names as CJ had already said before, and you could just go with two safeties. Let's think about this for a second. You had Ed Reed on one side, and you had Sean Taylor on another.
Yeah.
Good luck throwing the ball down the middle of the field.
Hold on to it.
So, and then on offense, I mean, they had 3 starters for the NFL at running back. You had Willis McGahee. Okay, he was a freshman now. Okay, you had Frank Gore, and everybody know he played all the way for years and years in the NFL. I mean, and then you turn around and have, so the names on there was unreal. Clinton Portis, yeah. So Clinton Portis, man, what can you say, man? I mean,
there ain't no words.
Yeah, ain't no words. I mean, you have 3 stars. I don't even know how one could dominate with the other one. I mean, like you could really change them out of any quarter of the game, and you're not gonna have any different style of or change of pace as far as yards and catches, whatever. And they use a lot of screen passes with that team with Ken Dorsey. So Andre George Knight got into, and then Kellen Winslow. A lot of people remember him in the NFL being fired up and saying they were soldiers and this and that. But I still think that team right there is, I mean, on paper, you could put them at any time. They had veterans. They just had NFL pro style players on that team, and that's why they were so dominant that year that they won.
Bro, you just named off just the safeties, man. The safeties. Now we talk about big Vince Wilfork on the line. Montrell Roll is one of your DBs. Jonathan Vilma is your linebacker. Man, it's like you
talking
got
about playing-
monsters all throughout that team. That's why I said that team was beautifully constructed. It is amazing that
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, they have a lot of players going to the NFL for it. So beautiful.
So yeah, we're gonna do a change of pace. So yesterday, or actually on Friday, we got a chance to see the women's NBA. They were doing the different type of performances, 3-point shootout, and so the question is: Have you seen a better 3-point shootout performance other than the one done by Sabrina Ionescu? And do you think someone will do better than she has recently? James, we're gonna start with you, and then we'll go to CJ.
Yeah, I'm gonna say when it comes to 3-point shooting, the 3-point shooting contest, I can't say I've seen better. Such I would say momentous shooting. You know what I'm saying? Because especially with 3-point shooting contest, it gotta be like that momentum you gotta have. You know what I'm saying? I have not seen that before. And now to say, will it be broken? Records are meant to be broken, and we know that. You know what I'm saying? With so many different rule changes, eventually, years down the road, they're going to move that 3-point line 10 feet closer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, record's going to be broken. You know what I'm saying? I'm just joking about that, but they move these lines closer just to make it more, pump up the offense a little bit. So yeah, record's meant to be broken. It'll be broken eventually.
Man, that was a beautiful performance though, man. Like I don't think nobody, like I said, nobody was prepared for when you going into it to see what you saw. And bro,
I think she made 20 straight at one point.
She missed the very first one and then went 20 straight after that, and then just only missed one. After the whole run, she missed 2. I said, bro, that if that ain't Steph Curry, like it's like. I was like, man, that is amazing, bro. She just tore through it, and the 3-point contest has now became the highlight now because of the NBA and like I said, so they like to see the name. Okay, yeah, we hear about this person can shoot this and this, so you like the average. You get the stardom there because you got some quality players that's averaging. Like I said, now in the NBA, you need to average about 40% from 3-point.
Yeah,
that's to be 40 and up is like the marksman level. So if you knocking out, so you get quality names in the competition. Then it's can you perform under duress, under fire, and man, to see that performance she did, man, mind blowing.
Yeah.
So and just to clarify what she did. I mean, she actually in this contest she scored a total of 37 points. That hadn't been reached. NBA, we got all kinds of shooters been in the NBA contest. Yeah, Larry Bird, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Ray Allen. List goes on and on. Rex Chapman, if I can remember correctly. I mean, just different players that have done well in 3-point shooting. Period, but in that type of environment where a lot of people are looking, all eyes are on you, and she been that consistent. Even Steph Curry, and he was at a golf tournament that actually quoted and sent something in saying that it's unbelievable what she was doing. So now, my first thing I was going to say was that no, have I ever seen a better performance? No. But do I think someone will do better than her in the future? I would say the one that we were just talking about, that's Steph Curry. I mean, moments like that, it kind of, for the one that we know that's the greatest shooter in NBA and men's basketball history, it's Steph. Well, don't you think that probably would challenge him a little bit to say, hey, can you beat that? I think he'll probably say, I accept that challenge. So if I had to put money on it, I'll say Steph Curry, but we'll see. All right, so we're going back into the NFL. Question number 4. And this question is, the NFL has picked the Jets for Hard Knocks. Question is, will it be worth watching? And if so, what are you looking forward to seeing or hearing from this show? We'll start out with CJ and then go to James.
Man, will I watch it? I might not be like watching every show, but I will watch it because I know this season, if anything, is going to be entertaining. Cause you got a team that's hungry. You got a team that's hungry. I want to hear how Aaron's going to try to mature or bring those young wide receivers along. Are they going to be able to handle a veteran of his caliber, dog? And from what I've seen before, heard is like he dog. You know what I'm saying? He'll dog out his receivers. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of, hey man, you should have been there. You need to, you know. So, I just want to see how they're going to mature from that young squad because they hungry, for sure. But yeah, if anything funny comes out of it, cool. Yeah, if Rodgers a little bit laid back, that would be great to see because you couldn't tell when he was with the Packers. You just heard a whole bunch of hearsay with the media. But I'm definitely out if I'm watching it, I'm looking forward more to see more interactions with Aaron Rodgers than anything.
What you got, James?
Yeah, same thing. I'm definitely gonna watch it, because I'm a Jets fan. We've been terrible for so long. We had a couple promising seasons and we just wasn't good enough to, get over the hump. So I'm excited. We have a good team and I feel like we definitely could get over the hump now. So I want to watch and I want to kind of just get a glimpse early if we can, build that chemistry, that team chemistry that we need to do build in the locker room, when it starts on the field and it's going to start with that leader Aaron Rodgers because we know he's a dominant personality. So that dominant personality, we're going to have to see how he's able to interact, with the receivers and with his teammates. And we know, I'm not going to say, like we know he's probably a great teammate. But the thing is too, though, it's that chemistry that you got to build. You know what I'm saying? Because we have some solid receivers. We brought along some good trades, also some other good top receivers as well to go along with the core that we had last year. So I don't doubt that he's going to build that chemistry because he's such a good quarterback. He'll get the ball to his receivers. But at the same time, winning championship is about chemistry as well. You know what I'm saying? So I want to kind of see how the chemistry is developing during that that whole scenario of episodes. Like CJ said, I'm probably not gonna watch the episode, but I'm gonna definitely try to tune in and see if I can catch a bit of it just to kind of see how Aaron Rodgers is gonna lead that team. And it starts from day one. It starts from training camp and that momentum. It got to be it got to be there. It got to be there. As you at least develop during the training camp to bring into that season. We can't have no starting slow and all that stuff because it's a tough league. Yeah, you start slow and then eventually you make the playoff, but you want to, get top seed. You want to be highly seeded so you could try to make a good run at it if you're trying to go to the Super Bowl.
All right. So for me, I mean, I'm a Packers fan, so we just lost out on Aaron Rodgers. That's first and foremost. Second, okay, in Green Bay, he used to come to training camp riding on a tricycle or a bike before the practice. And he knew that was his city. He basically ran the show. So now you're in New York City, and one of the first few things he does, like all eyes are not going to be on you in New York City, he goes to a concert, and they have all eyes on him. So whether it's good, the bad, or the ugly in the regular season, it's going to be worthwhile watching, period. So whether they're good and they're winning games, okay, they'll watch for that. If they're losing, oh, you're in the Big Apple, so get ready for the chatting and the all kind of comments going to come about from the fans and New York Tribune, all kind of different reporting groups up there that area. So that comes with the territory, and then plus they're paying you a lot of money, to win games in New York, and some of those fans have not witnessed them winning in their life. Last time they won was Joe Namath. So yeah. The people have been waiting for a long time for them to get something that they can cheer about, and not just it being for the Giants. So they're ready for that, and I'm waiting to see that. If not anything else, I want to see what Aaron Rodgers, how he reacts. As CJ said, how is he gonna? What happens when they start losing, or if you go on a losing streak?
Yeah.
Are they gonna jump off the boat? Or are they gonna stick to the script and continue on with the plan that coaches and organization already put in place for them? That's what I'm looking forward to see. Anybody else?
Yeah, they're saying that, man. They're everything. Everybody's talking it and saying the right things and stuff. But now it's just you gotta put up with what I'm saying, put up or shut up. So it's kind of like
Uh,
let's see where they go from there. And so
hey, look, I one thing about if you look at Aaron Rodgers' personality, man, he doesn't crack or break under pressure. We've seen that time and time again.
Yeah.
Green Bay went on a losing streak, whatever. What he always say, the season is
Still
not over.
we
We still got time. And guess what? They always found ways to win and come back from it. I think they fell short. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember when they just fell short of the playoffs by one game. I think it was just last
last
season.
year it was just about
Yeah,
one
yeah.
game.
They
We lost
just
in
fell
Detroit Lions.
short. Yeah, and because they played well and they just lost that game. But I tell you, he's not a quitter. And that's why I'm glad to have a person who's not a quitter in New York. And with that young defense, solid defense, and offense was solid. Now we got somebody to kind of lead it at the quarterback position. No disrespect to any other quarterback Jets ever had. You know what I'm saying? But now we got somebody I believe is really gonna, help us get over that hump. And I think he's not worried about the pressure. He's gonna get booed a few times now when he lose a few games. But that's just to understand that he just need to know, that he needs to prove himself, and he could be proven because he got the right people around him. Honestly, he does.
I'll say this one thing before we move on to the next question, and that is with what they just recently did. They got Quentin Williams for 4 years on a $96 million deal. $66 million was guaranteed. And the one thing that I saw in the report was that when he was on the field, the sack rate was tremendously high, like one of the tops in the league. Well, when he wasn't on the field, it was 31st. So they was almost second to being dead last in sack rate and defense, how in terms of what he does and what he brings to the table for them. So that was a big gift for them, keeping him and giving him his money. And I think he's definitely going to show up and dominate on the field once again with what the defense they have.
Hey, I don't know if you heard either, but I didn't want to put this out there because I don't want no bad news out there in the air from a team. But the Commanders said they said, man, it's trade packages out there right now. Well, speculation, how podcasters and stuff like that to trade away our big boy, the one that just came back from ACL, his ACL tear.
Okay, I think
the Ohio State player.
Yes, I know you're talking about.
Can't think of it. He's like on the tip of my tongue. But they talking about they was gonna trade. They said
you're not talking about Adrian Peterson, are you?
No, not AB.
Because I didn't think he was in Washington.
No, dang, what's old boy's name? Big boy.
I get you. You go ahead, keep going.
So they talking about like people throwing hypotheticals out there about trade packages for him and stuff. And I was like, man, we just got
Chase Young.
Chase Young. So they talking about now you were just talking about how important it was for the defensive line. There was talks of trading, or I ain't gonna say talk, but they throwing up trade packages talking about for the Jets and some other teams to go after Chase Young. I'm like, man, I said, Commanders, don't do that, bro. Like, don't hurt yourself. But for the Jets, that would help y'all out tremendously. Like, if there was any types of talk, I would definitely jump on it. I mean, what? So hopefully, I don't need y'all getting my boy. I don't need y'all getting my boy like that. But hey, we'll see how it goes.
All right, we're gonna end the show on this. It's a fun question, and this question is: so fantasy football is around the corner.
Boy, what?
You are playing in a league with friends. All right, the league is 15 people, and this is a traditional fantasy football setup. For those that play, you got one quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 tight end. There's one defensive team, and you have a kicker. Yeah. Now, who are you picking with your first pick, and why? And we're gonna go to CJ first. Well, actually, we're gonna go to James first.
Man, this was a tough question, man. I was thinking, man, I want to start with a running back. I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking. But then I really couldn't think of a good running back because I'm like, with a good running back, you need an offensive line. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pick Patrick Mahomes because I know he'll never fail me.
Oh,
You know what
wow.
I'm saying?
He went
With,
quarterback first.
with
Nice,
Okay.
Patrick
nice.
Mahomes,
Okay.
with Patrick
I'm writing
Mahomes,
this down now, James. I'm writing this
look,
down.
with
I
Patrick
like
Mahomes,
that.
at least I know what I'm gonna get with Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? He's always gonna be on point. He's gonna put up his numbers. He's gonna score a touchdown. He's gonna do all that. He's gonna beat you with his legs, even when he's crippled. He's still running on that bad leg. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even about the numbers with him. It's about the will to win. And because he has the will to win, you know what I'm saying? He's that clutch type of player. Because because he has that will to win, he has that drive to be great. So he's always gonna be able to put up those numbers because he has that drive. So I'll stick with that because I don't know what my line's gonna be like. And I don't want to, because you can't really run the ball if you ain't got a good line. Not unless you're Barry Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You got CJ.
Bro, like James, man, that's good, man, because it brings it to the point because the quarterbacks are so essential. They so essential to the team on. It makes and breaks your fantasy team anyway. It's going to make and break depending on their performance. And I didn't really think about it, but man, I'll tell you what, it's bad that I might have to go against my team like this. But if I had to pick, man, it might be Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh man, why would you take him in the first round? Bro, because he gets rushing touchdowns. He has wide receivers out the yin yang. He rarely throw interceptions. Like you just talked about, his performance, him and Patrick was in the Super Bowl. So you got 1A, 1B in my sense, you know. So I almost went Lamar, but the problem with that is that Baltimore just got those receivers. We got to see how it plays out. We saw what Hurts did with that squad, and they didn't do nothing but get better. They kept everybody, and they added more. They added even more running backs. So you can almost see a repeat performance. Almost they going to the Super. I ain't gonna say Super Bowl. They're going to the playoff for sure. Okay. But from that standpoint, man, Jalen should be great.
All right, so just to end it out, you guys selected 2 quarterbacks, so that means I got a slew of running backs and receivers to pick from.
Man,
no, I'm just playing. But so since y'all didn't pick any running backs or receivers, I'm going with the same one I had last year in my fantasy football league that took me all the way to the national championship game, or the championship game between our league that we had, and that was the game when Damar Hamlin went down. He got injured, so the game had to end in a tie in my championship game. So I'm still picking Justin Jefferson. And reason being, man, what he had last year, 128 receptions, 1,809 yards, 8 touchdowns. And I know just recently it was reported that Tyreek Hill saying he's going to go over 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
So he may have something to say about that. If he had 1,809 last year, and there was a couple bad games for Cousins. So I would say Justin Jefferson out of the group are the ones that you have at that level. His route running is awesome. He's consistent with his play. He's not. I haven't seen it up until this point. He hasn't had any issues with off the field antics, none of that. So I got Justin Jefferson, and
I knew you was gonna pick that too. Yeah, I wanted to say it, but I want to let you wait.
Yeah. Hey, Justin Jefferson is not bad. I think, and it's not bad because he was real dominant. If anything of last year, he was probably the best wide receiver of last year. But Tyreek has a case because if what's his name? Toa. If Toa doesn't go down and get hurt, Toa Tagovailoa doesn't get hurt like he did in the middle of the season, Tyreek was ahead of almost all the wide receivers in the NFL by almost 300 some yards at one point. But and he still finished up with, I'm gonna say, like 1,500.
Hey, like he said, he probably gonna get over 2,000. He probably right. He probably
Mhm.
will, reach that mark. I mean, he is a force. And he's a threat. It looked like Miami's trying to feed him the ball a lot more than Mahomes was, but the thing Mahomes, he know how to move the ball around still. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Thank
But
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, what's called might be a threat too now. Baltimore. You know that whole wide receiving core then came out and said, "Hey, with Lamar saying they going for 1,000, 5,000."
We shall see.
So that's the only reason I didn't pick because I want to see
we shall
you.
see.
Hey, you talk it. I want to see it. You talk
We
it. I want
shall
to see
see. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think Lamar got a dream 5,000 yards. He got a dream that.
it.
Hey, and this just before we end the show out, just I got fantasy football. I use Fantasy Pros for my rankings. They actually are pretty accurate. But the names we didn't even pick, and these are the top 5 out of the list for this year. That is, Christian McCaffrey will be number 1.
Whew.
Austin Eckler will be number 2. You have Taylor with the Indianapolis Colts would be 3. Surprisingly, and he's just his first year. BJ Robinson from playing with the Atlanta Falcons, the rookie. We just talked about him recently in shows. They got him as listed at number 4, and then the next one would be Nick Chubb out of Cleveland. So
Wow.
we'll see how that plays out, and we'll see how it goes as we start our own fantasy football leagues for the season, and
Yeah.
see if we were accurate enough or we know our football as well as we think we do. But that'll be it for this show. And signing off. Peace and love to everyone, and God bless.
God bless.
So,